Apparently so. Oi, oi.
We go.
Here we go.
I assume we're live.
Yes, we're strapped in. Who wants to let us know that we're on?
Welcome.
First of all, does it look all right? Those of you that are watching, who's on?
We are live.
Oh, good. Excellent.
2 people are watching, and I'm not one of them yet.
Oh, yes. Chris.
Chris is here.
Excellent.
Well, welcome,
Chris,
guys.
Does it look all right, Chris? The background and all that. Let us know. This is sort of a test. Oh, thanks, Sean. It was Yon's hard work. So there we go.
Three people watching now.
Oh.
Right. This is like a test episode. We didn't want our Grant one to be our first official episode. We don't want his head getting even fatter than it already is. I mean, bigger than it already is. His what do they call it? His kofki will.
Condom,
yeah, his pants will no longer fit in his head if his head gets any larger. You can't see anything. Of course you can.
I think Chris just might be really high.
Chris is in another realm at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, Jake thought it would be fun if we did a kind of like who are we episode to kind of kick things off.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! I've just burnt my mouth with coffee. Great. So we've written out some. What's the bedroom situation there? There wasn't even a sheet on that mattress 10 minutes ago.
So this is my spare room that I'm converting into an office, and it was just like a divan bed. And Yon said something about
I complimented the mattress.
So in actual fact, what I've put on here is a Rio 2016 official merch bedsheet on it. So you're welcome.
Is that what it is? Is that from the Olympics?
All the little bits and pieces on there. Good, isn't it? But that's the situation in the break room.
Matches the curtains.
Definitely does. Bald. Right, so sound all right, everyone? Do you like my fancy mic that I bought? Got an arm and everything. So yeah, we're both going to upgrade our cameras, aren't we, Mr. Yon?
Yeah, I literally bought a new one today, but only because my other webcam broke when we were with Grant. It kept on cutting in and out,
Perfect.
No, that is. Yeah. So we'll obviously get better at this as we go on. We have got plans. We've actually got guests lined up, but we did not want to have them come on when we're still shit at this. Although I don't think we're shit at this. I think we're pretty good.
This is sort of an induction at the gym for us.
Yeah, like how does this work? How does that work? We've been on StreamYard multiple times, but we've never actually had to do anything on StreamYard.
Yeah. Do you know what might be really good if we've got time? Is to send someone a link and see if we can get someone on for a couple of minutes.
The topic, Sean, is all about us. So it's called Who the Fuck is Yon and Jake?
So, Yon, would you like to go first?
Do you want me to ask you some questions?
No, I can ask you. I'll tell you what, we can set a new precedence here. Would you like to be Yon or John?
See, I thought about that when I was coming on, and I was like, my name's not even Yon. It's Jonathan Clark, but I changed it to Yon purely as a joke in the YouTube comments of Savann's podcast chat, and then it just stuck.
Right. So because within the Savan world, you are Yon.
Yeah, because he's a Neanderthal that can't pronounce a J.
Yeah. Okay. So you got an opportunity knocks.
I've adopted it. My Instagram handle's that now.
Okay. So you've transitioned.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm pre-op.
So you're tranny on. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we both answer the questions as we go then? rather than
Yeah.
you do it all of them and stuff. So I'll ask you this question first. What got you into fitness and or coaching, and why do you bloody love it so much?
Well, I'm going to try and keep my answers concise. I'm going to try
Mhm.
and keep them I'll waffle on. The ADHD in me will waffle on, but I didn't get into fitness per se until my adult life. I played sports, obviously, growing up, like as any kid does, but I was always overweight. I was morbidly obese until my 20s.
Okay.
In my 20s, I weighed in at like over 350 pounds, which
Mhm.
for other people, that's what, 100 I think it's about 146 kilos.
Okay.
And that's what got me into, well, I wanted to basically get fitter at that point because I knew there was like, that wasn't like, I knew I couldn't last like that. So that's what got me into it. And then what got me into fitness coaching was, I think I've always liked helping people.
Mhm.
I'm a bit like I help everybody else before I help myself, hence why I got myself into that kind of situation, and probably many others since then. But grew up, mum's a nurse, owns care homes, all that kind of jazz. So she was always helping people. Then I went down into the care route, and it wasn't until we had Adam 11 years ago that I thought I didn't want to carry on that career path, and I wanted to still help. Like obviously, I was just drawn to helping other people, and then one of the biggest things that happened to me was me losing all that weight and finding fitness, and it was like, well, I didn't have anyone to help me do that, so I want to be that person to help other people. And the reason I love it is because that very reason, you can literally change someone's life through like health and fitness.
And what how did you lose the weight? Like, what was the one, if you could label like one thing that got you to lose the weight, what was it?
What time? I've yo-yoed a little bit like over the last 20 years, but over the last time I done it was actually like viewing things as like via like health and performance, not seeing like myself as just to be like, needing to be thinner.
Yeah.
Because that's when I lost 200 pounds. I went from like 350 down to like 156,
Yeah.
and competed at that weight in powerlifting. But the whole goal was just to be smaller the whole time. So it wasn't, I wouldn't have said it was done healthily. It was done like extreme dieting, a lot of
Right.
cardio, just like extreme restriction,
Yeah.
sporty Beth, like so to speak, like like that way, and then
Yeah.
just wanting to be like a smaller person, whereas like that
Yeah.
obviously isn't healthy. And it wasn't
No.
until I was like properly educated that I then started like fueling properly, and that's like actually fueling
Yeah.
for performance and having a performance-based goal is what
Yeah.
kept it all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So sort of, I know you mentioned Spotty Beth then, but sort of her message that she does talk about, which I tend to agree with to an extent, is you've got to really sort the headspace out before you do anything about your physique and your
yeah,
fitness.
100%.
Whether you agree with anything that else she does say, what I think the message that she's trying to put across is you've got to sort your head out first before you even go down the route of aesthetics or performance based.
Yeah,
So I agree with you there, and the fact that you've done it a few times now says that obviously it wasn't solved along the way, but hopefully you're in a better point now where you found that rhythm. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. It took a few times doing it, like
Mm.
actually realize like what the purpose was.
And by the sounds of it, you're not obsessed with aesthetics or dieting anymore. You're on kind of like a health and performance sort of route,
Which
which
has led to a lighter scale weight and a better body composition.
yeah,
Do you
awesome.
know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, good. Well, we've all been there.
yeah.
Arguably, guys that go on, Mexican supplements or TRT, they've got body image issues. They're not happy or content with it. It's very different, but they're not happy with what they've got.
I think probably the vast majority of people that get into training have probably got
Oh, Oh,
some
for
kind of
sure.
body dysmorphia, especially young men. Like I see them all the time in the gym, like 16, 17-year-olds that you can tell
That's
are taking
yeah.
gear now.
That's the so I've got a client who was sat in a sauna on the weekend in the UK, and he said that there was a couple of young lads in there that were almost boasting about being on this, that, and the other at the age, in their late teens. And what a fucking shame.
Mhm.
Like they haven't even developed yet. You do not know what you want to be at the age of 16, 17. And there's so many young lads that are falling into that trap of thinking The Rock, Chris Hemsworth, like you look at all the sort of Hollywood A-list stars now for men. Yeah.
Sean,
And straight. Yeah.
I know people that took steroids at a young age and like they're not doing so good at the moment. But on the other hand of that, I know loads of people that take them very,
Well,
like the proper way, routine bloods. They're not overdoing anything. They actually know what they're doing, and they've got like people in the know.
They're a tool. Yeah, they're a tool. And unfortunately, tools end up using the tools. And they don't get it right, and they get very ill. And that's a shame, but that's something we can talk about at some point. Ord's got it wrong.
We were off to such a good start.
No. Oh well. Savon looks a lot younger in that picture, doesn't
he? He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
There we go.
It's probably because he stood next to Ord. So yeah, so we can come back on that another time.
What about you? What got you like training, coaching?
So on my 13th birthday, I was playing football. Yeah, I was playing football, a little bit of rugby, not to a good degree rugby. I was a bit of a pansy. And I didn't want to muck up my face, really. I predominantly played football, and my mum and dad got me a weights bench for the garage for my 13th birthday.
Was it a York one with the gold weights, red plastic collars?
Yeah, like Sandfield.
Yeah.
And so from the age of 13, I had my CD player in the garage. I had a Led Zeppelin fucking double CD playing constantly for about a year. And when I turned 14, I was allowed to sign up at the local gym on my own and go on my 14th birthday. Fuck off. And how old are you all? You're like 54? Actually, I'm 40 in 7 weeks. Anyway, so yeah, when I was 14, I started going to the gym, and that was 99. And yeah, so basically I started doing predominantly bodybuilding work, fell in love with bodybuilding, found like old videos of Arnie, watched my first pumping iron video in 1999 when I was 14. Got obsessed with bodybuilding, but very fortunately, I wasn't around anyone in the hardcore arena for bodybuilding. Still am.
And Sean was about 20 at that point.
But yeah, so I got into getting larger, and it was helping with my football. But then I got to
the bodybuilding help with the football.
Yeah, because I found
more physical, like
yeah, I played centre mid, so I was getting a lot stronger. My fitness was up anyway. Being in centre mid, I didn't really need to do much in terms of like cardio work. But playing centre mid, and for any Americans in the house that don't really know about our football, centre midfielder. So we play 90 minutes, 2 lots of 45, and it's pretty much on the go all the time. There's no breaks. If the ball stops, it stops for 10 seconds and you're going again. So you're running up and down the pitch in the center of midfield pretty much for the whole 90 minutes. You're in action. So I was stop, cardio. Like my engine has always been pretty good. So I was pretty cardio. So doing that bodybuilding work, I naturally was very strong with my legs. Mm-hmm. So I squatted and I deadlifted from like 14, 15 at the gym. Because of that, I got stronger for my sport naturally. And then I got into powerlifting when I was about 16. I didn't compete until I was till I was a lot older. Didn't compete, but P90X.
I bought it. I bought it. Yeah, powerlifting when you were 16.
Yeah. And then I carried on going to the gym, carried on getting just bigger and bigger. And then when I was about 21, did a couple of powerlifting meets, just small ones, locally. And then when I was about 20, what am I now? Coming up to 40. So 20, when was that? I met Katie around beginning of 2012, end of 2011. Met her dad. He was an ex-weightlifter. He won the Commonwealths. He introduced me to the sport of weightlifting, like properly. Hello, Colleen. We'll keep it Colleen. Keeping it Colleen.
Colleen's going to be a guest on here at some point.
That can be the show. Keeping it Colleen. Yeah, there we go.
Which last year?
You mean another one? Yeah. So I tried my hand at weightlifting, and because of that, found a CrossFit gym in 2012 in Reading, which was about 20-30 minutes away from where I was. And then I got into CrossFit from there in end of 2012. And then basically fell in love with CrossFit. But I was very lucky, very, very lucky from my perspective. The gym owners that I went to in Reading and then Maidenhead the year after, they were very methodology based. So it was all about nutrition and Metcon. And for my football that I was playing, it was perfect. We had the power lifts and a bit of cleans and everything. That was all adding up as well. But I had a really firm understanding of all that. And because of that, I fell in love with it. Did my L1 at the end of, right at the end of 2012. And then, and I had to go to Stockholm. And Boz was doing it. So he was there. He got me my first ring muscle up when I was there. Nice. And then, basically within a year managing and then ownership. And then from there, it's just been CrossFit since 2012. Mm-hmm. And I'm strong and as fit and as fast as I was then. So even though I'm
20 years on,
13 years on, I'm still as strong, as fit and as healthy. And I've gone through all the shit that people give as excuses. And I'm still there. So there we go. Nice. That's me. Right. Here's your second question then. I'm aware that, we've got loads of time. We don't want Garrett. We don't want to cross over with Clinton, do we? If you could go back in time and give yourself one bit of advice to your younger, less fit self, what would it be?
Mine would definitely be about not focusing on the scales and like having a performance goal, because for the first, say, 10 years of my journey, I was just solely focused on like the scales, whether it was good or bad. Like if I thought I was doing well, that's what I focused on. And then all the success was based upon that number that was on the scales. So if it went up, my mood went down, which a lot of the time just made me go off the rails even more. Because when I first started going to the gym, I was still big into partying. It wasn't until I went like 8 years sober that that was probably the best thing that I probably could have done, because it was good for the mental health, like first and foremost. But it gave me that time to actually like have a good understanding of who I actually was as a person. So that would definitely be my thing, is like not to focus on the scales and actually have a performance-based goal. It wasn't until sausages, there we go. It wasn't until this year that I actually had, not this year, about two or 3 years ago, that I actually started focusing on performance-based goals, which has led to like more purpose, actually like, you know, seeing a big boost in like health and fitness, and then like it's now leading into like a physique that I probably would have wanted 10 years ago, if that makes sense. You know, because I've been way leaner, but I wasn't happy.
No.
That makes sense.
Well, we both know, and we both tell clients, you know, having abs is great, but it's not that great, is it? It's not as good as feeling good. So I know it might be a tricky question, and you might not know the answer to this. Do you remember where you learned that the number on the scales was important?
Yeah, from my mum.
Yeah.
It's
Parents.
anyone that's, I think anyone that I come in contact with, it's like got issues around food, or issues around like scale weight and that kind of stuff, always stems from a parent or like a grandparent, like maybe making comments when they were like at a young age, or not even making comments about them per se, but them seeing someone else obsessing over that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you correlate it with like, oh, well, that's obviously important.
Yeah.
You know, and I always remember seeing my mum like going out to like, you know, like slimming work, like you know, like slimming classes and whatnot, you know, or my granny, like my mum's mum saying stuff, you know, about my mum putting weight on. So then it was always in the back of my head, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's, it's generational, isn't it?
Yeah, it's inherent, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only reason I asked that is because it's interesting. These bad habits that we get into, we learn them, don't we?
Yeah, like that's anything.
So yeah, so it's just as important with our, like, we've both got kids, and a lot of people obviously within this realm have got kids, but it does make you realize that when you're in this arena, the impact that you can have on people is humongous, and you don't necessarily realize it at the time. And the last thing you want to do as a parent is to do that, but parents do it, and they don't realize it.
Even down to like not accepting a compliment. You know, if you were to say to someone like, "Oh, you look good today," and they say, "No, I'm fat," or whatever it might be, and like they hear that, and then that's subconsciously they take that into their teens. Especially like you've got a daughter. Like the way I can imagine, like the way she like watches Katie, like is going to have like a massive impact on how she then behaves as a teen and as a young woman. You know what I mean?
It's interesting because today, like, Katie's gone off to Miami today, and we dropped her off at the airport, and my son's been like down all day, like waiting for it to happen. My daughter couldn't give a fuck. She's just like playing with this, playing with that at the airport. She's like, right, see you next time, mommy, see you later. And she's just so bad, doesn't matter. Whereas my boy is just, you know, full on, like, give a shit, hysterically crying for about an hour afterwards, was inconsolable.
Boys need their mum though.
Yeah, he's a mummy's boy. And as much as you can do as a dad to have your role, I love the fact that he's a mummy's boy. But I do talk to her about it, and I say, you're more influential on him than you probably think you are. Everything that you say to them, they take to heart. And I'm very lucky with Katie. She was a high performance athlete, so she doesn't really take too much concern with how she looks. It's not about aesthetics. So the kids are more.
Sorry, I just went to pull that up too. I went to pull that up as well. I'm not laughing at that, but I am laughing at the fact that we both went to pull it up. Laughing that Chris even said it, because I know he's laughing at it.
It's good. It's good. But anyway, yeah. So the influence that we have on our kids is tremendous. And my dad, used to give us goals as teenagers, as you know, growing up playing football. If we were looking a bit overweight, it would be right.
This
Yeah.
makes so much sense.
Ah, there we go. Click.
When I asked you yesterday
Yeah.
what your parents were like, this is what I wanted you to tell
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that's good.
I hope she's doing well now, Grant.
Well,
Tell us in the chat.
yeah, maybe.
But
I
don't
only
worry.
got the minor version of what she had. Jesus, she must have been fucked up.
She's
all right,
fine. Good.
that's all right. And as long as she's all right now, I'm sure she's very proud.
We've got 8 listeners. Fantastic.
So yeah, it's a record.
This
So
is nearly
yeah,
all our subs.
yeah,
Tell me another person that gets all their subs in a fucking live.
yeah. There you go.
Our retention rate is superb.
It is. But yeah, so my dad used to set us like weight goals if we lost. So we'd weigh in every week and just see how we're getting on with weight. And if we'd lost a certain amount of weight, we'd get money.
That's brutal, eh? Like,
So
you know, when you put back into that now, that's brutal.
yeah.
Sorry, I need a mic. I do have a mic. It's just far away. I'll bring it closer. Fucking idiot.
So, but he was more geared around performance as well, and he saw body weight being important for performance on the football field. So that was that. But yeah, so that's you know, your answer was don't be worried about the scales. That's as much as a good answer as you can have, you know. And if we're looking at the CrossFit you know, statement, eat meat, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, some food that starts no sugar, keep intake to that supports exercise and not body fat. It doesn't go into numbers. It gives you a blueprint about what to eat, not how much. But it does say about how much. It says to support exercise and not body fat. But again, you have to read between the lines a little bit there, don't you?
There we go. My mic wasn't.
Oh, there you go.
It fucking wasn't. It was my
what
computer
is now?
mic. Heidi, does that sound better?
So my
next,
my advice to a younger self would just predominantly just be nutrition. Learn to love good food.
Chicken sausages
all the way. My kids, so we see it with our kids. We have got them on a fairly, I don't want to say strict, but a fairly routine nutrition base now of whole foods. And my God, the difference, the energy levels, they're constantly eating, they're constantly playing, they're focusing, they're sleeping better, they're working harder, because obviously we homeschool. We've seen a big difference in what they're doing, like on paper.
Do you see any differences with their mood?
Huge.
Like mental health wise, like do they
seem
more happier? Like
instead of doing this all the time, and you know, crashing half an hour after this, that, and the other, they're just this all day. They're just level all day, not going mad, and again, they are craving the food. They absolutely love the food that we're giving them. And it's just all good food. Most of it's locally sourced. So where we are on the island, that we produce pretty much all of it, other than the fruit, which we get seasonal stuff. And I tell you, if we can continue that for as long as possible and give them a good base and give them an understanding about fuel, you know, understanding about this equates to this. If you're feeling this way, you need this. If you want to feel this way, you need this. It's real simple. Oh, there we go. What's this? Jake always had them on the sneeze and just started. Okay, so good point. No, it hasn't always been this. However, what we did notice was both of them, their favorite meals. We would ask them on a Saturday, what do you want to eat? And it would be, my daughter loves cheesy rice, right? So it's just we boil up some, yeah, just a load of rice with real mature local cheddar grated on it, with a little bit of seasoning on it, and some chicken and broccoli, and that was what she wanted to eat. It's bonkers. Whereas my son was like, I'll have a burger or something, and just because that was what he thought was a cheat meal, let's call it, not, he doesn't call it a cheat meal, but he saw it as like a treat meal, because that's what me and Katie see as a treat meal. As soon as we switched ourselves, and we gave them no option, either you eat what we're giving you and you learn, or you go hungry. But because they had that firm base of already enjoying the decent foods that we were giving them, donkey cheese, possibly. I think we asked about turkey eggs before. Do turkeys lay eggs? But apparently they do. But no, the transition for us was really seamless, because Katie, when I met Katie, she taught me a hell of a lot about how to eat properly for fuel. Yeah. A loaf, do you mean? But so we've got them, and they can recite eat meats, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, whether or not they do it all the time or not. But of course, we let them eat now and again. Like Katie bakes for cafes and stuff, so she bakes stuff. And before she left today, she'd left a brownie about a couple of inches long, and I gave them half a brownie tonight, and they absolutely loved it. But they knew it was a treat, and they really enjoyed it. And then I just let them out of the house for about 10 minutes, and they felt fucking nuts for 10 minutes outside. And then they came in and they said, "Can we have some fruit next time instead?"
Did they actually say that? Oh.
Yeah.
And
I was like, yeah, fine.
That's but that's the whole thing, is like, you can eat anything, but just not everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the approach I take with clients as well. It's a whole case of like, there's no food that's off limits.
No.
But
no.
You need to have boundaries with food.
You can't demonize. Demonizing foods is fucking ridiculous. It's a food, and people are going to eat it or not. You can have a little bit of it. Now, some people are addicts, and sometimes people need control measures that are slightly different to other people. But without going into all the details that you and I know, certain foods, you need a bit of balance in your life. Right, the next question you've asked is what is your biggest coaching pet peeve? I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, go for it.
It's right up there. People that say, well, you need a bit of balance.
Aye, but it's not balance if you're doing it every day.
It's not balance. Now, here's something that I've taught my kids, right? All the shit that you really like all the brownies and all going to Disneyland, and they're not that we've been there, but all the easy cheaty treaty stuff, that weighs a fucking ton on this balance that you're playing with. A tiny little drop of it weighs a ton. Now, to balance that out, you need a fucking lot of the hard work and the good shit to balance that out.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, to balance that seesaw, you need a lot of good shit to balance it out. It's not equal. They're not on par. You can't have one Mars bar for every fucking jacket potato you have.
No, well, that's it. Calories are calories, right? But food quality matters, because 200 calories from a Mars bar isn't the same as getting 200 calories from, good whole foods with like the vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein. It's one's going to make you actually feel good and look good. The other one's, all it's going to do is dictate that, going back to that number on the scale.
Yeah, and again, it goes down the bad route of, and again, you've been guilty of this in the past. I probably was at some point as well. But thinking, right, I'll go out for a 2 fucking hour run so that I can eat a whatever.
Yeah, that drives me fucking nuts.
Like, where's the logic there? It doesn't make any kind of fucking sense.
200 less calories.
Anyway, do you want to? Yeah,
I think this question here could probably be its own show altogether. We are actually doing a lot of work with Adam at the moment regarding his food. When he was in the hospital in October, I think everybody knows he was really unwell in October. Sorry, I was just moving my heater. He actually had blood work done in the hospital, and they were really surprised at how good his blood panels came back, that he's getting all his like nutrients and his vitamins and minerals because he's got such a limited diet. They were actually surprised at how good he actually is doing. But it is obviously a concern of ours as he gets older. He's now 11 and he's still got a very limited diet. But I think that's too much of a big topic to kind of go into on the podcast, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert. I just know Adam. I know one autistic child.
Right.
We do have people helping.
Cool.
Here we go. A Milky Way midnight. There we go.
So, all right. Next one. If you had to choose only one fitness discipline (brackets, e.g., weightlifting, powerlifting, bodybuilding, running, gymnastics), let's call one high rocks one of them, CrossFit one of them, for the rest of your life. Right. I'm going to add a caveat to this. For the rest of your life. Oh, you've done it. Kind of. What would it be and why? Yeah. But I would lead with on this. What are your goals? Probably most likely to be long term, and why would one of those fit in with that?
Okay, 2 seconds. It's not that it's too big a topic. It's just going to take too long to go into everything, and it's boring. Unless you have someone in your family that's autistic, it's going to be I'm going to pick bodybuilding, by the way. It's too boring to go into unless you're really invested in that topic. But yeah, I honestly think I would probably pick bodybuilding. Yeah. Because it does cover a wide range of things. It's not like you don't just like bodybuilding isn't obviously it is about physique, but I'm thinking bodybuilding. I'm thinking more hypertrophy. Or what was the video last week saying?
Hypertrophy, yeah. Which I prefer. I prefer that word.
I think a lot of British people, I think a lot of people from the UK probably pronounce it hypertrophy, but I call it hypertrophy. That kind of training style. As you get older, it probably does keep you like healthy enough. It doesn't mean that you can't go for walks for your cardiovascular health and all that kind of stuff. And you can use you can use a big exercise selection, and you can use different rep ranges to get, muscular endurance and strength and power and whatnot. But I would probably go bodybuilding. And if I wasn't to pick bodybuilding, I'd probably pick powerlifting just because I love the actual sport of powerlifting.
Yeah. Cool.
I'd want to take a lot here.
Tricky one, really. I like the functional aspect of CrossFit. That's sort of what I love about CrossFit. I as you know, and everyone in the small circle that I have, I can take or leave the sport. It doesn't interest me really. Like, it's fun when it's on, but other than that, I'm really not interested in it in the slightest. And High Rocks is a good point. High Rocks for me is an event, not a training methodology.
That's why I didn't include CrossFit in my thing. I just put in the specific thing. So CrossFit wasn't one of them because I would have picked CrossFit because it covers a broad basis of it. I didn't put High Rocks specifically. That's why I put it in as just a single discipline. That's what. So it was a more difficult question because if CrossFit, I think everyone's going to pick CrossFit because it covers a broad spectrum of gymnastics.
Okay, so if I have to park CrossFit, all right. Are these, when you say fitness discipline, do you mean sort of specialities within what we do in the box? Okay.
Weightlifting, gymnastics. It could be running. It could be road cycling, swimming. Or let's lump in all endurance sports together. So it could be endurance.
Right. Okay. So I want to say bodybuilding, not from an aesthetics perspective, but from a joint protection and muscular development
that's
methodology.
Longevity as you get older. Like, I think that style of training is going to be
if you're completely natural and not bodybuilding speedos and fake tan, bodybuilding that we know it to be, which is building the body, right? Not performing on stage. This is so frustrating when you program bodybuilding work at the end of like a fucking Metcon and you put 10 minutes bodybuilding work for, you know, you do some Cuban presses or something, call it or Arnold presses, call it bodybuilding. Because I don't want to get big. It's like, well, fuck off then. But it's not. So you have to call it something else. It's just this ignorance around what bodybuilding actually is.
Saying when we were on the call with Grant, accessory work.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, however, if I was to think about it long and hard, as always, I think the training with the view to potentially compete as well at any age, one speciality piece within the box, indoor rowing.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because with that one bit of kit, you can get as fucking fit as a fiddle on one of those things if you're training properly.
Tell you what, the rower fucks me up way more than the ski. Like, I could ski for never, but but the sport of indoor rowing is massively overlooked. You look at those blokes and the women that are on those rowers, fuck me, they are powerful. The training that you have to do within rowing is insane. The fitness levels are through the roof. The fittest. Yeah. And again, I've got a mate, Simon Stokes, who he won the British Open this year, just gone in the season, and he was about 2 handstand push-ups away from going to the games in the 55 to 59. Yeah. He was a very good indoor rower during the 90s, and no one comes fucking near him for those 7-minute Metcons. No one's coming near him. He owns that. Like on a concept 2, like the 2K world record is like it's 5.
It's 5:16, I think, something like that. Which is when you think about what that means, like get on a rower, and I think the split time's something like 180. No, it can't be, can it?
No, I think the last time I checked, it was like 5. I think it was like 5:30 is like the world record.
Yeah. So what's that?
1:23.
Yeah. For 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, try pulling that for 10 seconds.
Insane, yeah. And I remember I looked it up and his stroke rate was something like 34 stroke.
They're just
34 or something.
They're just animals. So for me, I'm a bit more of a power athlete and I do well in that domain. So for me, I enjoy that kind of punishment as well. So I think, generally speaking, all round power, longevity of life, health, your cardiovascular system, the anaerobic system, the type of training you do with it, I think indoor rowing would be the one for me. Although I'm better on a ski erg, fucking hate the rower, but rowing I think is probably the better one.
Have you ever rowed the marathon?
No. The longest I've done is about 20k. That was in lockdown. I just decided to get the rower out and just see what I could do in a couple of hours. So I just did, about 20k. But I've done plenty of 5Ks. Like my 5K ski was like 1820, I think. Because just body power, glute power, and hip drive. Just for the heavier athlete, the skiers better.
Yeah, I like the skier.
All right, so next one then. What's the most ridiculous fitness myth you've ever heard? Have you got one?
One that it's not even a fitness myth, but it's something that like not even necessarily clients say, but I hate the term "no pain, no gain." Like I hate when someone says to me, like, we were talking about beforehand, and I was like, people that will cram. How tall are you guys? 2 seconds. I hate when people cram in sessions back to back, or like they have and this is specific to clients or even just people that I know that I speak to in the gym, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't do yesterday's workout, so I'm doing 2 back to back." And I'm like, "Oh, why are you doing 2 back to back?" And they're like, "Oh, well, no pain, no gain." It's like, that's not the whole point. Like, the whole point is your coach is trying to get you better. They're not trying to make you sore.
Yeah.
Like, if you're sore every day, if
Yeah,
you're sore for days and days after a workout, yes, if you're just getting into fitness and it's like, or maybe you had a time off, or it's a new stimulus, then yes, like muscular soreness is going to be a thing. But if you're sore for days after every workout, there's a bigger issue there with your recovery, your hydration, your sleep, your nutrition.
Yeah,
like, or you out of scale.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's the main one. But I think the issue there within, if we're talking within like the CrossFit realm, which I know we're not necessarily exclusively talking there, but if we are, that's coaches. You've got shit coaches if they're letting you be like that. We talked about this the other day about having difficult conversations in the gym. But like one thing that Sporty Best said on a recent video, which I totally fucking agree with, and I think you actually commented on it and said this: you shouldn't be fucking tired and wrecked doing CrossFit every day. You should be having planned rest days, active recovery. You should not be at full fucking intensity every time you go to the gym. It's not the intent. And one of the topics we're going to do a show on soon is main site, and why more people need to go back to that. Because that's the genius of main site. It contains that. It measures it, it monitors it. And you commented and put the most programmed workout on main site is a 5K.
I wonder if I could find it.
Yeah. And that sums it up beautifully. If you've got a gym that cannot program, not necessarily doesn't choose to, but if they cannot roll out main site and program that for a week and coach it and see how well it goes, then they've got shit coaches.
Here we go. I can share that. Present. How'd you share?
If you go down to present,
there we go.
And it will come up with a couple of options. Again, we're trialing this, by the way. This is our first one. But if you're, as a coach, as a CrossFit coach, here's something you can fucking try.
There. The most programmed workout in main site is 5 kilometer run. They program the marathon, wrote the games. CrossFitters go long. The methodology isn't the issue.
Exactly. It's not the methodology. It's not main site. If you veered away from main site, if you've got your own training program, if you do this, that, and the other, fucking brilliant. The thing is, and this is sort of a bugbear within the world of CrossFit for me, is that people have got too clever for it. It's all smoke and mirrors. They're hiding behind complexity. The beauty of CrossFit, the fucking beauty of it, is it was simple. You turn up, you warm up, you do 5x5 back squat, and then you fuck off home. And you know how it works. You eat properly.
Yeah.
You don't have to sweat out of your ass every day. You don't have to go balls to the wall. And if you're not going hard on a 5x5 back squat, guess what? You're a pussy. You need to lift heavier.
It's the forgotten 23 hours of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. They're too concerned with being the fucking big time Charlie at the gym, Johnny Concrete, giving it large with the headband on. No offense, Grant. And going mad and being the one that can do a fucking muscle up. Fuck off. I'd rather see someone hitting 5 sessions a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rest, Friday, Saturday. Come in, hit all the stimulus. You do your mono, your weightlifting, your gymnastics in as many varieties as possible, keeping it creative as possible, but follow main site. If you're lost, if you don't know where you're at with your training, you do not need fucking mayhem programming to be the man. Eat better and do main site for a month. See how you feel after that. I guarantee if you do it properly, if you're coached well, you will flourish. And then you can decide about doing your muscle up drills. Does my head in.
And it's free.
Yeah, it always has been. They've never charged for it, which is nuts.
There's more than a decade's worth of programming. You could go back to 2010. You could go back. Yeah. You could go far back than that and follow it.
Yeah, but you know, people love smoke and mirrors and to hide behind that.
let's finish, right? Because we want to be off before.
Oh yeah, before Garrett and Colleen start. How tall are we?
Yeah, I'll say how tall are we? I am 5'9", and Jake is 6 foot.
Yeah, 6 on the dot.
6 foot. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Fun fact, and I'm gonna fucking stand on this hill. If any of my clients watch this back, they might comment and say that I'm lying, but I'm not. I used to be 5'10".
Oh, you had your back surgery, didn't you?
But then I had back surgery on my disc, and I fucking lost an inch.
Oh, you mean on your height?
On my height, not my top.
Yeah.
I lost about half an inch when they removed my foreskin. Right, but we're gonna finish on what song is on your workout playlist that everyone should have on theirs.
All right, so you go first on this.
Song, it could be like a guilty pleasure. It could be fucking like, it could be like a hype song. It could be anything, right? But do you know what song gets me fucking hyped up whenever it comes? I could be, you know, when the last time it actually came on and it put a fucking massive smile on my face when I was doing my last half marathon, and I was about 18 kilometers in, and I'd torn my calf before running that, and my calf was hurting. I was almost about to start walking, and Bonnie Tyler, Holding Out for a Hero, came on.
Amazing.
And I fucking, it was honestly like, do you know in WWE, do you know in the old school WWF, do you know when like you think the person's going to get tapped out and everyone starts banging on them, like, banging, and then, like, they start fucking like they just go for it. Like that's honestly how I felt. I was like, as soon as that came on, it made me think of, remember the film Short Circuit?
Yeah.
He's like, but number 2 though, when he's like all covered in spray paint. And that's I felt like that, like running like that last 3 kilometers, and I ended up taking my phone out and putting it on repeat.
Amazing.
Yeah,
good.
Bonnie Tyler. Yeah,
what's yours? So it's not Nickelback. Yeah, I know. I mean,
people will not admit to liking Nickelback, but their back catalogue is fucking good.
So there's one Nickelback where Chad Kroeger, he features on a Steel Panther song. Fucking brilliant song. But anyway, yeah, Nickelback. I can listen to a few of them, but there's one song that you can't listen to on Spotify because the lead singer is now in jail for rape. Right?
Oh God, there's a few that I like.
It's a grime artist. And the song is called Feed 'Em to the Lions.
Yes.
And fuck me. I got my heaviest ever clean and jerk to that song. And if you hear that, if you put that on loud in the gym, oh my God, you'll get your 1RM deadlift on that. It is a hype song, proper hype song.
Who fucking is that? That's Solo 45 or something,
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, he's in jail at the moment. But Spotify ban. It's on Apple. It's on Apple Music. It's on YouTube. It's on everything else. Just Spotify went all fucking like bringing it down. R. Kelly's still on there.
I was about to say R. Kelly's still on, and so are Lost Prophets.
I mean, Lost Prophets. If they're still on it, Matey Boy should still be on it, shouldn't it? But yeah, Solo 45, Feed 'Em to Lions. If you put that on in your headphones or on the speakers and just whack that up, you will lift the fucking gym. I'm getting angry thinking about it now.
I forgot. I thought Jake was going to say a Wham song, to be fair, or
Wham. It depends on the workout.
Or Sleep Token. I thought he might say.
Which one?
I thought you might have said Sleep Token as well. I know you're a bit of a Sleep Token.
Yeah, I mean my playlist on Spotify for when I'm on my own, when I'm working out, is an AI one, metal power mix, and it's basically Gojira, Korn, and Slipknot, and it's like 4 hours worth of my favorite songs from them.
My playlist, since we're showing them, is called. I wonder if this will show. Songs
to blow your balls off. Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, hopefully they won't, but you know. Good.
I'll not blow Grant's off anyway because his are shrunk.
There's a time and a place for Wham. And little fun fact to end the show on: we were nearly had Wham in the title of this fucking podcast, this show name, didn't we? On
oh fuck yeah, like that. Well, that was the plan. I've forgotten what it was. Oh yeah, it was called Chat. The show was going to be called Chat Shit Get Wham.
Wasn't it Chat Fit?
Yeah, Chat Fit Get Wham. Yeah,
Chat Fit Get Wham. Because being Wham in the UK means getting Judi Dench, getting big and muscly and fit. So that's what Wham means over here. But anyway, we want to watch Glinton.
Yeah, and I'm going to do some work. But I think that went pretty good. We had a record number of 11 viewers.
11, nice. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for your and any feedback. We'd really appreciate it if we can get this polished and done and good sooner. Then we'll do that. And any feedback would be great.
Don't give me any negative feedback because I can't take it.
Yeah, you can tell me anything. I'll just laugh. That's good.
Nah, I'm only joking. I appreciate all feedback.
We got to think about. We got to have a sign off. Let's go. Nah.
All it's going to be is right. Thanks for coming, guys.
Nice one.
Is it ended? It's not.